Uh, so what I typically do when I prepare a CMA is just do it through Bright. But when I saw that you were doing this in different paths through Remine and RPR, I thought I would tune in just to see what
Okay.
that process is like. So that's the
All right.
simple side.
Great. Anybody else? Anyone use a separate tool other than those three? No? Okay. Does mostly everybody use Bright? Yes. Use Bright? Okay.
Yeah.
All right, guys, if you're not turn your cameras on, if you at least use the thumb up and all that kind of stuff, so I have some interaction. So Chris uses Bright. Anybody else use? I guess everybody else uses Bright. You just do your search and click the CMA button, right? Okay. All right.
I use the RPR.
Okay, cool. So do I. I use that as a tool to just get people going, toss it out to them. Say, hey, here's some stuff that I yeah, and Remind. Good. Okay. All right. Well, let's go to the tool that everybody uses the most. And so that's going to be it's going to be Bright. All right. Can y'all see that? Driving business. Someone tell me, I don't see my screen because I've got it in a different share. So yes, no, can you see my Bright page?
Yes.
Yeah.
All right, great. Okay, good. All right, so this one's pretty straightforward. I think you just go and you do your search, okay? You narrow it down to what town you're looking for. Let's take a look at Falls Church in general. Okay. Yeah, let's go ahead and Falls Church City. So we got 149 actives and excuse me, 124 actives in Falls Church proper. All right. So a few things here. The more narrowed down you get on the type of property, we'll just say detached, bang, we just lost 60 of them, which is what we want. And so then I'm just looking for, well, how many bedrooms do I have? How many 3 to 4? 22. And I've got a house with 2 bedrooms, 18. So immediately I just want to see, well, where are these houses in Falls Church? So they're kind of all over here. It's where they're located. So I'm looking to get as close to it as possible. Keeping in mind what you're looking at here when folks are putting information in here, it's J-I-J-O, G-J-O. Anybody know what that means? Anybody know what that means?
No, I ain't got a clue.
Junk in, junk out. Yeah. And so because of that, when I first get going here, I'm looking at the big things. I need 64. I just want to see what's there in Falls Church. All right. Now, if I need to, I'll bring it down to a particular zip code, 22042, detached. I'll go with that because I know 00042 is going to be different type of housing than 046. And immediately I'm going to narrow down, which is what I got to do here, right? So I'll go to gallery. Now let's say this is the type house I'm looking at. Is a little rancher. That works. That works. Maybe, maybe not. I'll leave it in for right now. Doesn't work. That works. Doesn't work. So you see what I'm doing very quickly. I'm getting rid of the ones that don't work. This one looks like it's a rancher with a facade, so I'm going to keep it. This is a doubled up rancher. Don't need that one. Plus, yeah. This one works. No, it doesn't. Okay. This one, I'm not sure what I'm looking at here. I'm going to leave it in there. It's probably square footage. It's the same, so I'm going to leave that in there. This one is not. Yes. No, that's a brand new house. And so I'm going to refine and I'm going to discard what I clicked. You with me? Great. So I've got 8. all, and this is where the beauty of the system is really nice. It just does it for you, okay? So I got a CMA. Put myself in here. These are the pages I use. You know, there's a ton of pages. And I don't use all of them. Okay. I just use these basic pages here: cover sheet, summary of comparables, comparables overview, days on market, list price and close, 4-up listing report, and the CMA map. The subject, I do need a subject property. So let's see what was, that was 22042, right? $27 expireds in the last 6 months. Wow. These are all expired. And so let's see here. Nope. Yep. Let's go with this one. So I'm going to hyper that one. We're going to pull it back over to here. That was actually the zip code. I mean, the MLS. So I'm pulling in the property listing from here. I'm going to fill it in. Yeah, this is the information. Okay. State, VA. I'm going to fill in whatever is necessary. Concessions, it was, no, we don't, we know, oh, only 2 bad. Okay. 1650. Yeah. Okay. All right. All this is good. I'm going to go with that. Cover, Anthony Carr, West Broad Street. That's my information. Okay. Comparables. I already went through these. I am going to put them by, for the report, I'm going to put them by distance, because that's how the consumer is probably going to look at them. And actually, I only have a CMA here of actives. I'm so sorry. I should have pulled in my my other stuff. So let's do this again. My apologies. 22042. Coming soon, active under contract, pending, and closed in the last 30 days. Get rid of the expireds. Now I got 97. Detached, I have 66. So I know that I want the type house that I want, but again, the challenge I have with just going through and looking for the type of house is that I've seen ranches where agents have called them, they've called them ramblers. I mean, not ramblers, they've called them colonials. So I have to go through and make sure that that they've put in the right kind of information that's necessary. So we'll go back down here. Gallery. Yes. Mine does not have a garage, so I'm not going to use the ones with a garage. It does add value. Yep. Yep. That's got a garage. Pull this one back in. This is more of a contemporary, but probably square footage is going to be about the same. Maybe. Go ahead and pull it in here. No. No. Yep. Okay. All right. Probably. No. No. Trailer. All right, this one works. It's not quite exactly what I'm looking for with the dormers, but I'm going to keep them in there. And finally, here we go. That one's a little small. I'm going to keep this one in here, see what that looks like. This one, definitely this one. All right, this one. No, no, yes. Well, somewhere I'm sure there's a front picture of this puppy. See what the heck it is I'm looking at. Nope. Okay. All right. So I'm going to retain these. And then y'all know I have this particular report that I've done before. And this report has all these items at the top. I got my bedrooms and I got my clothes price, my list, my tax assessment, my above ground, my below ground, and my total square footage. This report, and I wish I could. So if you guys want to do a screenshot right now of these headers, this is kind of like my secret weapon because it helps me to see what's out there and if they're matching what I need. So go ahead and do a screenshot of this if you would, and I'll show you why. So the first thing I look at with this report here to pull it down to, am I getting the right house, is I do the tax assessed value. Now this tax assessed value, not this one. Okay, open it. Sorry about that. I was wanting to pull up the expireds that we were looking at. I think it was this one. Yeah. Okay. So 3119 Graydon, this tax assessment is 643. So when I look at these right here, I'm looking at 643 and I'll go up 25 grand and go down 25 grand. So down 25 grand is going to be roughly 623, 618. So this is my bottom right here. Okay. I'll pull in that 610 if I don't have enough. And 643 plus 25,000 is 668. So let's go up to 670. These right here by tax assessment are close, but look at my pricing here. This one right here on Tyler at this tax assessment with 7 bedrooms tells me something's going on with this one. It's an outlier, right? Because then here's the list prices at this tax assessment of 624. So that's in order of tax assessment. Then I go by total square footage. This one at total square footage is the above ground is 1716, 1650. Okay. So above ground is 1650. So now I'm looking at, well, what's the total square footage here? 1650. These two here, these 3 here are closer. So I'm getting close to knowing those work. So I'm going to pull them in oh, excuse me, take them out. Take that one out by square footage. Take that one out because the tax is wrong. And I'm going to remove the ones that aren't matching that criteria. Those two criteria is what I look at. And so now I'm going to discard the ones I've highlighted, and we're getting down to the nitty gritty here. And see, like this one right here, why do I have a colonial in here? See, that's the junk in, junk out. So you have to be very careful when you're using data from Bright that you have agents who don't understand what these type properties are. Here's a mid-century modern. Yes, that is a mid-century modern. Cape Cod, contemporary. Yeah, that's a contemporary, believe it or not, back when it was built. But I've got an agent here who doesn't know what a colonial is. They might be very experienced, I don't know. But their tax assessment is close to where we're looking at. This tax assessment again was 643. So this one's about 80 grand more. But square footage wise, it's about the same. And it does have a garage. I think I'm going to leave it in there for right now. Okay. So then I'm looking at most of them do not have a garage. This one does. This one right here, that's a 2-bedroom. This may be enough to just strike it out. I think it is. I like what I see, but it's just, it's a little small. It's only 1,244. It's a 2-bedroom. I'm going to take that one out. And I'm going to look at this one. 7 bedrooms. The heck? Any comments on that? 7 bedrooms? What's that all about?
I think it's illegal.
Maybe they're just counting the number of beds.
Maybe they're just counting the number of rooms. Let's see what they got here. That's the living room. There's the dining room. That's the den. There's the kitchen. All right, one. Same one. There's one upstairs. Probably got 2 upstairs. So, oh, they have a lower level here. Okay. But with these little bitty windows. So technically with small windows like this is not a bedroom. But it seems to me, oh, unless this is what they've got here. No, that's the other one. Yeah. They're stretching it. Oh, okay. There we go. There's a window. So that counts. Okay. You know, what is the challenge of putting 7 bedrooms on a house like this? Comment.
I think the size of rooms are going to be super small, so it's just the consumer's not going to be excited about a 5x5.
Right. I would submit it's disingenuous. If I look up 7 bedrooms in Falls Church, they're not going to be 930. They're going to be well over $1 million. They're going to be bona fide bedrooms. So they have some rooms, but you know, I would not put 7. 4 would be the max, and they need to do that. So because of the agent's information, I think I'm just going to have to cross this one out. So I'm going to narrow it down. And now these are the properties I'm going to use. So remember what I've done here is I am using this report, which is everything from, come on in, man, which is everything from, sure, man, which is the address. If you just go to the regular agent one online, this is what you get. So I have removed a lot of this information and inserted my own columns, which is the tax assessment, the garage, yes, no, because this one doesn't have garage, yes, no. The one that comes out. I just take out all these. I need to redo mine. Keep this one in, this little icon. You can't add this column here with the icons up and down on prices. That's very powerful. And I need to redo mine. But right now I just keep using what I've got. So I have my tax assess. I have my original list price, which is what was it when they started? What is it today? If it closed, and then what's the tax assessment? Those 4 values I'm looking for. Then I need to know if there's a garage. A garage is bona fide value to the property. How many bedrooms am I talking? That's why I took out the 2. And I think we decided I'm going to take out the 7. Is that right? Yeah. So we're going to take out the 7. And we're going to narrow again. And then I keep my above ground, my below ground. Now, here's another thing a lot of agents mess up. Junk in, junk out. They don't put in the below grade. And so they got 1504 over here. So that's where you kind of got to go in here and look at, does this have a basement? And if it does, they did not put in the below grade. Okay. This has a basement. And these look like they're basement rooms. Okay. So they have the 1500 is only what is on the main level. So I'm kind of guessing now what the below level is here. But I know roughly it's probably going to be about where I need it to be. Okay. So this one, did they put it in? They got, yeah, they did. They put in the below grade. Okay. But keep in mind, the below grade does not add in automatically. The agent must put in the below grade. Here's another one, 1470. How many levels? Whoops. I think I lost my piece there. Level is 1. Okay, so that definitely does not, that doesn't have the 2 levels. So all these that have nothing on it, I'm just wanting to know, is there a basement? And if there's a basement, no. Okay, good. Basement, yes. Okay, basement, yes. 1723. Again, I'm not getting the fair market. I'm not getting the true square footage on this because the agent didn't go downstairs and take a look at what is the square footage and adding that to it. Okay. Now we're downstairs. None of this is in the square footage. Because remember, Aunt Virginia and, Cousin Fairfax only counts this for taxes. So when you look at the taxes on here, they're only talking about what's above ground. So that's not in there. And so I'll hang on to something that's smaller than the house I'm looking at because I know the agent did not add in the below grade square footage. All right. Now, these are my properties. Let's go back to my target property. We're going to pull in the old MLS number. And so now we're ready to do CMA. I'm going to put myself as the contact, the pages, the subject is from the old CMA. If you don't have the CMA from an old listing, then pull in the tax number. And it's going to fill in on the right here what everything is, okay? And then you got your cover. Just fill in whatever that's going to be. My comparables, I have them here. I've already done the homework on that. If I want, this one's going to put this whole report in. This is what's active, Mr. and Ms. Johnson. This is what's under contract. This is what's closed. You can do that, or you can do it by distance. and say, you know, what's right down the road from you is already closed. Probably makes more sense to do it by status. All right. See what's going on over here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of the properties out of the 11 drop their price. 1 is active. 2 that went under contract dropped their price. 1 is up. 2 more dropped their price, and 3 went up above listing price. This shows the map. This one's kind of an outlier. Number 5, Mason Lane. Let's take a look at Mason Lane. I'll keep it in there. It's a little bit outlier. It's still in the zip code. I'm not worried about it. I don't have any adjustments I want to make, and I'm going to finish up. Okay. And I just do view CMA right where I'm sitting. So any questions on that process using Bright MLS? I know I went quickly through it. This is about how long it takes me to do it, maybe a little bit shorter because I'm usually not sitting in my computer talking to it like I am right now. But then this is the report. So here's the active properties, the active under contract. You got the price per square foot. I would appreciate a little guidance on that. I really don't do price per square foot. Does anyone do that? Do they see value in that? Anybody?
Price per square foot is something that's used much more heavily in commercial
Yeah.
than in residential. Sometimes if, you know, it's a real toss up between a couple of properties. I'll take a look at it, but it's not something I look at on a regular basis.
Right. Thanks you, Allison. I have just found when you toss in price per square foot, even in a neighborhood, okay, this one's 450, this one's 4, and now suddenly someone's struggling with you about that extra $50 per square foot.
It's more expensive Ranch Rambler than it is Colonial.
Yeah, it's more expensive on a Ranch Rambler than it is Colonial if you do the data.
It's price per square foot also is not linear. It is going to be a lot higher for a small house than it is for a large house.
Exactly.
It's not a linear measurement.
Yeah. Someone else was commenting.
Yes. I'm not sure if anybody, on Facebook, there's a group called Ask the Appraiser. I found it to be a really good group. Of course, you get the little going back and forth, but it's very educational. And I know that, and there's a lot of good tips. And many of the appraisers have commented that they don't take into account the price per square foot, but it's called Ask the Appraiser.
Yeah, cool. I'm going to look for that one. Thanks for the tip. Days on market. The chart doesn't do so much for me on this one. I like more of a table to look at days on market. Some of close, list price versus sold price. So this is good. One was an outlier here that went for over. That's Meadow Lane. And then I really like this report. This outlook. On this report, the left column is always the subject property. So then this is the subject and these are the other 3. This is the subject, and there's the other 3. And then I can go left to right looking at, you know, what are they saying here? 799, 888. Now this one expired, but I'm saying that's my property. And I've got 2 levels, built about the same time period. Taxes are about the same. I've already done that work in the earlier version, so these are not going to be questionable on what their comp are as far as the square footage and the tax assessment. Then this just shows the map. All right, so that is using using the MLS as your CMA tool. I like doing this one as my final piece, okay? Because the ones I'm about to go into now, These are computer generated, automatic, and I have not taken any classes on how to make this work better. In other words, go in and take stuff out. I haven't taken classes on that. So generally, I'm just showing you how I use it immediately. Now, this one did relist, and it closed last month at $785. So at $799,888, they were overpriced. Not a lot, but they were overpriced. And then they finally closed at $785. So I know this team, if it's the one I'm thinking about. No, it's not. Okay. It's not the same team. But what he did here is when he changed the price, he just put it in as a new listing. So he got a new days on market. Okay. But this one, you pull up the property and you just create the report. And the report I use is the mini property report. I use this one more than anything else. Okay. And I can put in here Bob Vila. Hey, Bob. This is my a report that's from a service I subscribe to. It will be a little different than what you see on Zillow, Trulia, and Company. All right. And so display now, I'm going to run the report. So as this is coming up, just so you know, there are other reports. The mini report is about 12 pages, which I find that's about as much as most people can afford. And this is what it looks like. You will have had to gone in and put in your logo, your photo, your information, and your front page will look like this. Okay. Interestingly, it did not take the picture from the MLS. Many times it'll take the picture from the MLS. The current estimated value is 729, but it went for 785. And I probably would leave that because I want them to understand this is a current estimated value according to a computer module. It's not according to me going into it and seeing what is happening with the market. This is me going in to see what's happening with the market. Okay. Graydon Streets, what we're looking at. We got 755, 740, 800 for those that are active under contract, 734, 819. So I'm looking at these that are closing, and I'll come back in a moment after I get all three of these done and show you how I come in for a landing on what I think the target price needs to be. But I'm using all three of these tools to get there. If you are working with a high, I need a lot of numbers, then I do the seller's report. It's 81 pages, okay? But I find for most people, the mini property report is all you really need. And it goes through the property, the dimensions, the public facts, the listing information, the extended home information from the past listing, if it's available, exterior features, the mini report, the AARP livability index. That's pretty interesting. I'm not quite sure. I think they're losing some market with that one, but they put it in. And then here the property photos, if they're available. And then the property history. The yellow is the property history evaluation through NAR RPR. It was in the last several years since they've been doing this. It started out here about 500, went down just short sale years, and has been building up through the short sale years. And then interestingly, this is the low interest rate years. And then suddenly it's popped up. I would say low interest rate years, low inventory years is what I would look at. Okay. Yeah. I'll share this recording when we get done. I'll put it in our YouTube channel but also the Facebook. Okay. And then it gives them assessed values over the last several years of the tax value. And then you have the mini property report here. And then some bars and graphs for them to look at. Okay. And then how RPR gets its information. Now, with RPR, the other thing you can do is, like, we're at 729, view the details here, right? Where did they come up with 729? Oh, excuse me, that's not it. What I was looking for was refined value. Refined value is for you to go in and put information that you've gathered from the system that may be wrong. So one thing they're always wrong on is, what's the local market like? You turn that to hot and suddenly it's now worth 769. Home exterior is equal. Home interior, I would say, is up. Lot size is equal. Privacy is equal. Home exterior, I'm going to leave that as equal. Now return to the property, and now we should have a refined value. And so that's pulling that value up so that we can take into account what have they done with the interior. Does it look nice? And those types of things. And you create your report, you print this one out, or you email this one to them as well. Any questions on RPR? Anybody got any good stories on how they've used it? Yes, no, maybe so?
I have a question, Anthony. Sorry.
Yes, go ahead.
I missed how you got your records from MLS into RPR. Do they now have an ability to suck those in?
I did not. What you would have to do with RPR is go into and do a CMA. And then what you would have to do is pull in these properties that are in your MLS report.
Oh, okay.
And look them up and put them on RPR.
Okay, that does suck them in.
Yeah. Yeah, it will.
RPR,
Yeah.
RPR lets you exit RPR but stay attached and go to MLS and do your CMA.
Exactly. And what I use RPR for is the immediate price. And I just pull this one up after I got done talking with someone, and I just go to print and I send them this couple of pages. I just send them this, say, hey, look, thanks for talking with me. It was great having a discussion with you. I've taken into account the only thing I've really changed on this is what this valuation machine says it is, with a refined value of 782. That's because the market is so hot, but let's get together and talk further detail about it. It could be higher or lower than this, depending on what I find. So that's the discussion I'll have with that. With Remind, any other questions on RPR?
I just wanted to add, I've started doing these for, I call them an equity analysis report. And whenever it's their, 1-year anniversary or 5-year anniversary, I send them a report, and it's another touch, right?
That's nice. I like that. Equity evaluation report.
Equity analysis or equity evaluation. Yeah.
Oh, equity analysis report, your ear report. I like that. I got my ear to the ground.
The other benefit of doing that is, think about how many people have no idea if their current coverage of home insurance will cover the current value of the house.
Sure.
They don't look at it. That's another reason, not just, it's not about, if thinking about selling, this is what it's like. Do you have enough home insurance coverage?
Yeah. Also, if you put in different flooring, you put in new windows, because if you got your insurance 10 years ago and you've never called them and told them everything you did, when they come in and this property is, it burns or something or floods, they're going to come in and put the builder grade stuff in. Unless you've gone back and said, hey, I redid the roof and this is what I have. I redid the floor and this is what I have. I redid the windows. So they put that in there with their calculation, say, okay, it means their insurance is going to go up, but when does it matter?
When it matters.
Yeah, when you got a
actually did
flood or
this-
fire, you don't want to think that, wow, I saved $300 a year on my home insurance.
I did this for a client in one of my communities last September. In December, had a fire in the house, gutted most of it. Now, and thankfully, the analysis and thinking about it helped the client, change their policy criteria. But that was an eye-opening, real-world experience that none of us ever have to go through. But it was, it was bad.
Yeah.
Good. I mean, that you had coverage.
Yeah.
But
also, if your people have gone in the basement and redone it, you want to go back in and make sure that, hey, I added a bedroom in the basement with an extra bath. The insurance company needs to know that. I've seen people fight their assessment with the county to save a few bucks on their insurance, to save a few bucks on their tax bill, not realizing you're taking away valuation of the property that could save you in the future when you're trying to sell. Or if you have, like Scott just said, you have a debilitating natural event, and great, you just brought your tax assessment down $90,000. Okay. All right. So then this report here under Remine is the one that I really use to send to people in my database. All right. I just pull this up and I go to print and I use public record 1 page. Okay. This is so simple and very powerful. And what I like about this one, it downloads it and you got to open it up again. But what it does here is it puts in the valuations from all the stuff they're looking at. Yeah. So what they're looking at online are these here, the home values. Well, yeah, I know my value is 785, 400. All right. First American has it at 783. Redfin's got it at 806. Remine, I don't know what they're doing, but they got it at 574. And we know the house just sold at 785. Wow. This may be why they have it at 574. This house has really been redone, hasn't it? Because that is this. So that's why Remine, looking at it in this condition or not understanding what they've done, see, they added a bath. In the tax record, it still has 1 bath. And 1 story, 1 bath. So they still got it at the lower amount. But I like sending this out and I highlight it with, I pull it into Word or whatever, and I highlight these values and I write a note here. Say, hey, this is why I have an issue with home valuations, Bob. Just want to let you know, right now they've got you everywhere from 574 to 806. If you'd like to narrow that down, give me a call and I can do a comparative market analysis in real dollars with real numbers. So this is a great example. I was saying Bob, and there you go. That was what his name was Bob. Okay. But it kind of shows you what the difference could be from a algorithm versus a feet on the ground look at the property. Okay. So you've got your matrix where you've gone in and done the search. You've narrowed down your adjustments, your properties, which ones you want to go with. You pull that into your CMA, and then you pull into CMA, and this is what you get. Okay. Then the very quick model is you go to NAR RPR, put the address in, it pulls up this report, and you collect what report that you want, the seller's report, the property flyer, the market activity report. You can get any report you want on this. And then you have Bright, a Remine, and Remine pulls up the information and gives you a side-by-side comparison of all the valuations. And I love this again because the valuations do not match. I love it when they don't match. Because now me as the professional will come in with my CMA here and do the ups and downs, the knockouts, and say, where should this really be? And then I'm able to give them a bona fide report that a professional is going to be able to do for them that they can't get from an algorithm. Okay? Any other questions? Any comments? Anything like that? Yes, Allison.
I'm always reliable for a question or five. So in terms of presentation, you've got the RPR report that you have built using records from MLS. And then as a separate report, you've got that one pager from Remine. Is that
Yeah.
how you present it?
That's a good question. What I actually do is on the Remine, I actually do the 4-pager. What I am doing for them when I mail it to them is I use the this would be Agent Full, all of this, which has all the property images, the property hit, the demographics and everything. This I would put into my report I'm handing to them. But when I'm just mailing something out, I'll use the 1-pager. So I'll use both of them depending on what I'm trying to do.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, sure. So let's see what that full pager looks like. So this one,
Where are you posting this recording, Anthony?
what's that?
Where are you posting this recording?
I'm going to put it on the YouTube channel of the office and also in the Facebook reports as well. We have a place in Facebook. This is not, oh yeah, okay. So this is, Allison, to your point, this is the report from Remine, and it's the full report for the consumer. Has a lot of information in it. This is for the client, got the mapping, the schools. Here's the 4 reports about what they think the value is, the history of the property. A lot of good information here and some photos if it was ever on the market. So that report is automatic, put it in, you don't change any data, here's what you got. And I like giving them more because by giving them more, it pushes them to me as the professional. And you know what they're doing. Yeah, I know my values. Where'd you go? Went to Zillow. Okay, well, they could be off $200,000. Something like that. All right, anything else? That's my dog and pony show. So I hope this gives you some good stuff to run with. I think the most valuable thing I've showed you was that columnar table that I put together, which is really just taking out columns and putting in columns and using that as a means of narrowing it down by square footage, tax assessment, and value and sold values. All right. Okay. Thank you all for coming out.
Thank you, Anthony.
All right. Talk to you later.